Hey guys, it's Holly. Welcome back to my channel. I wanted to post a quick thyroid update because I realized I have not done that in a really long time, and I just kind of wanted to tell you guys what's been going on with me as far as my health, thyroid update, etc. So for those of you that don't know, I have what's called subclinical hypothyroidism. So I have like a very mild case, and essentially my thyroid antibodies are high. Some of them are very high. However, my TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, and my T3 and T4 are normal. So I went for my annual physical about 2.5 weeks ago or so. So I had all my annual blood work done, and when it came back, it just showed that my thyroid antibodies were really high, which I already knew that, obviously, because I've tested that in the past. I haven't tested like every little thing until this time. So this time there were a couple of other things in the thyroid, more extensive thyroid blood tests that showed that something, might be up. And so the doctor that I went to initially, I don't even know why. I went for my well woman exam. That's when they drew my blood, where they drew my blood. So this place that I went is actually like an urgent care slash, what do you call it? Urgent care slash family medicine place, but they do the well woman visits there. And so that's why I went, because my OB-GYN retired last year and I don't currently have one. So they were like, we can go ahead and do your blood draw for the year, your insurance covers it. So I'm like, cool, whatever. But they did not even like really talk to me about any of this. Like they were like, oh yeah, well, you need to go get a thyroid sonogram, and we're going to refer you to an endocrinologist. So I was just like, okay. So I'm all thinking that I got to do all these things right. So I did get the thyroid sonogram done the other day, about 3 days ago. I'm still waiting on the results of that. I'm pretty sure everything was normal though. So I got that done just to be on the safe side, because you can get, nodules on your thyroid. I think it's like they say that up to 70% of adults have nodules on their thyroid. And obviously, some can potentially be cancerous, but it's pretty rare. So just to be on the safe side, I will let you guys know the results of that when I have an update. But yeah, so long story short, I went to my regular doctor yesterday, just because I just wanted to see her. I haven't been in a while. I only see her usually maybe like twice a year, I'd say, depending. But she's really great, and I showed her my test results and everything. She went over everything with me, like sat down with me and actually really broke everything down. And she was like, well, she's like, you don't need to go see an endocrinologist, because, you just have subclinical hypothyroidism. So basically it's a genetic thing. I do have those markers in my blood, and in the future, it's quite possible I will have to take thyroid medication. But for subclinical hypothyroidism, there are no guidelines, according to my doctor anyway, on whether or not you should take medication. It just kind of depends on whether or not you're having symptoms. And so I do not have any symptoms of thyroid problems, really. If I do, they're very, very mild. So for me, I don't want to take the medication. And I feel like a lot of people have told me like, oh, you should just take it. But I don't want to take, I don't know. For those of you that don't know me very well, like I don't like to take prescription medications regularly unless it's like an emergency and I have no choice. Like I'm a little bit different with over-the-counter medications. Like I do sometimes take like ibuprofen if I really truly need it, or naproxen, like Aleve. Like I will take stuff like that. But as far as a prescription medication, taking on a long-term basis, I don't like the idea of that at all for myself. So yeah, so I'm not going to take anything right now. If I start to develop any symptoms, I will, obviously try to take it for a while and see if it helps. But to make a long story short, I found out I had this subclinical hypothyroidism a couple of years back when I had blood work done through my OB-GYN. At the time, I was having unusually heavy periods, and came to find out that's probably what was going on. So I did take thyroid medication for maybe 6 months. I don't think it was even that long. And then I decided to just supplement with iodine, get off the medication, and see how I did. At the time that I found out I had the hypothyroidism, my TSH was a little bit off. This was before I did more extensive testing and knew about the antibodies. So I ended up, I think the TSH was like, it was only like 2 points off or something like that. It was still mild. So yeah, I got off the medication after a while, and I just kept testing every 6 months, and I've been fine since then. Like, my TSH and T3 and T4 have been normal ever since I started supplementing with iodine. And I take other supplements periodically too to help with the thyroid, but I want to show you guys what I'm taking right now. So I will point out that I take iodine drops every morning. I do take liquid iodine drops in addition to what I'm about to show you. And so I've been taking those for, you know, like I say, the last over 2 years now. And then I also take these thyroid gummies. So these I recently purchased off Amazon. I'm also going to be trying some other products as well, which I will share with you guys. But so these have kelp in them. They're vegan. They are non-GMO, gluten-free, plant-based, and GMP certified. These were only about $15. And so you just take 2 a day. And obviously you want to talk to your doctor before you take any kind of supplement, even the iodine. You know, especially if you're on medication too, thyroid medication, because, you know, there are some situations in which your thyroid problems can become worse if you take, you know, certain supplements with that medication, with a levothyroxine or whatever it is that you do take. So I'm going to read you guys what's in these thyroid gummies. So we have ashwagandha, which is an adaptogen, which is really, really good for, it just helps the body cope with stress and whatnot. Schizandra is also really potent. Schizandra is amazing. It can also help you with water retention, a little bit of weight loss. It's good for a lot of things. Eleuthero, that's also good for the lungs too. And bladderwrack, that's very high in iodine. Whole plant bladderwrack. I've taken this before too. It's like a seaweed. I've eaten it actually in the past. L-tyrosine and kelp. Kelp is really great if you do have hypothyroidism. I highly recommend eating kelp, like physically eating it and supplementing with it. But you can definitely do seaweed. I like to do a lot of those dried seaweed snacks. I know a lot of people hate seaweed. Obviously, if you hate seaweed, don't eat it, you know. But if you like it and you're okay with it, you know, the dried seaweed snacks are really good, and those are high in iodine. So I try to incorporate stuff like that into my diet. So, but yeah, with hypothyroidism, you just need more iodine. So, and there are some people that will disagree with me and say, oh, you shouldn't take anything, you know, but obviously there are always going to be people that disagree. But I'm just telling you guys what I have done in the past and what I continue to do to keep my main thyroid numbers in check. So sometimes when I check my levels, it might be, you know, getting close to borderline, but yet still within range. I have still been able to keep T3, T4, and TSH within normal range for the last couple years. So I just thought I would put that out there. And again, these are, the brand is Vitamatic. This right here, you guys can see it, but yeah, so these are just thyroid gummies, and you don't have to use this exact same thing. There are so many different products you can look at on Amazon or whatever it is you use, Etsy, eBay. You can look at different nutrition sites, etc., and see what you can find. So again, always talk to your, you know, consult with your physician. I just, you know, I have to tell you guys that always, but this is just what I did, what I do, how I'm keeping everything in check. Again, I will update you guys when I find out about the results of the thyroid sonogram. I will do another thyroid update, you know, sometime in the next week. I'll update you guys on that. But I am not going to see the endocrinologist unless my sonogram comes back and it's, you know, something's wrong with it, which I don't think it is. But if it is, then I will see the specialist, and hopefully not have to get a fine needle aspiration biopsy or whatever. So my oldest brother is actually going through that right now. He's getting a fine needle aspiration. I think it's this week. They actually keep you awake for it, like, and they just like numb the area and stick a needle in your thyroid and take out, you know, a little sample for a biopsy. So it's quite interesting, really, but I really don't want to do that. The thought of it really freaks me out. But yeah, I mean, they say you can actually drive yourself home and everything, and that, you know, there's not really any recovery time, so that's always a good thing. So I'm really not too worried overall, but I just thought I would share that with you guys. I hope it helps somebody out there, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.